Does this mean that Satan is winning? Does this mean that Satan is getting his way? Does this mean that this is something that is happening beyond God's control? Absolutely not. Unequivocally not. What this is coming judgment. God has orchestrated, because Satan is the hammer of judgment. Satan's function is to hand out judgment from God. Okay? So all of this is happening under the delusion that we've talked about so much, coming from God. God allowing man, who is stiff-necked in his sin, allowing mankind that which they seek, allowing them to suffer a grand delusion, to allow them to be deluded. And all of us can clearly see that that's what's happening to the world.
This is the grand, it is. It's absolutely the grand delusion. Grand because it encompasses the whole world.
Yep.
There has never been anything like this where the entire world is on board with a certain mindset. So if that's the case, again, just, check the box for one more item on the Revelation list of things being fulfilled at this time. And, I made a comment, at least I think I did, I'm not sure, but you and I were speaking about why it is that people get so angry at us when we present the mark of the beast, why they are so defensive, why they actually, they want to be mad at you. And that's because you are now posing to them information that they were not aware of. And when it becomes known and they become conscious of it, it forces them to make a decision. Am I going to look further to see if this really is the time of Christ's return? Am I going to look deeper? Even a lay person understands the simulations between, the computer being the beast or technology being the beast system. Now something as simple as saying to them, well, now that technology is going to go into your skin so that the beast system can read you as a human being. And when they begin to see even that basic understanding, we don't have to get into nanotechnology, fifth generation, frequencies. We do because we talk about it and that's what we research, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. But to a person who doesn't understand, when you say something as simple as, they're gonna put a mechanism on your skin that's gonna leave this invisible mark that can only be read by a certain type of light on your cell phone, and everybody's gonna have it because they want to know who's had the COVID vaccine and track people so that they can eradicate this. And even a basic lay person can understand that. Mm-hmm. And they get angry because they didn't have to worry about this before. Now you've told them something and the responsibility falls to them to either research more about it or even just make the choice to believe it. But it's going to haunt them because there are so many things about it. Well, not even so many things. Pick two.
That ring true.
That they can't deny it. And it is more ignorant of the most ignorant to not even consider what we're saying as truth, including scientists, chemists, mathematicians, physicists. They have this information in front of them, working with it every single day. In a checklist on Revelation, pick just two. And what are your chances of even two
being fulfilled?
Being fulfilled.
Yep.
So, I mean, don't even listen to this argument of, oh, things are the way they've always been since the beginning of time. I mean, the Bible said there are going to be people that say that. But now you have information that says, oh, no, not like now. It's not like now. When you see states burning, you see floods and famines happening. Oh, the famines are coming. We are seeing earthquakes, the likes of which we've never seen before, because we have the ability now to see them all around the world happening at the same time. We see them ramping up. We see technology even adding to those earthquakes and weather.
And storms.
And the storms.
The weather modification.
And there are still people out there right now that will not believe that governments have the capability to affect the weather, to direct it with lasers. So it would have to be a very, very, I don't even know that ignorant is the term.
Well, closed-minded.
Yeah.
It's the cognitive dissonance that we talk about so often.
Mm-hmm.
They want to remain in their place of comfort. They want to remain comfortable in their life.
Mm.
Oftentimes I've heard people say, I just live my day from day to day. I just want to deal with today. I don't want to think about the future. I don't want to talk about this, that, or the other. I'm just living for today. And we've heard a lot of people, over the years, we've heard a lot of people with that cognitive dissonance. I just want to enjoy what is happening today.
That's another take on, people seeking out guidance from those who want to just tickle their ears. It's not just going to church and having a pastor talk about a feel-good message. It's not just that. Tickle your ears can be from, listening to the Ellen Show to, a multitude of things. People only want to fill their ears with things that aren't going to cause any, well, let's just say it's not going to cause them to think. It's not going to cause them to choose.
It doesn't challenge their thinking.
And tickling your ears is like watching television. They watch things and listen to things that make them feel good.
And that's as far as it goes.
That's it.
That's it.
But
I want my beer and I want my football. Well, the football's gone, I guess. I don't know.
I think they're playing again. I don't know.
I don't care if they're playing. But, I just, that's all they want. I want my Barco Lounger, my beer, and my football. That's my life.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it.
And that's a tickle your ears situation, where you're just filling your mind and the airwaves with things that, cause you not to have to think. But it is very dangerous to not think in this time. The Lord tells you, be of sober mind and judgment. Test the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Seek these things out. Be a good Berean. And the Bereans searched the scriptures, but they also searched history.
Yes, they did.
They relied on many different forms to arrive at understanding of cultures and times, just like we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and when I say that, I'm not puffing ourselves up. I just mean, it's taken us into, I'm in my 50s, you're in your 60s. It's taken us time. We didn't always research, but we've evolved and sharing with you now the more serious mindset. And I think we'd all agree that as we get older, we should be getting more serious about things. So we mature and we find out, and through trial and error, we determine, what's important to us, what is a priority. So this is our priority now, our faith. There is nothing more important in this world than our faith. It is a great faith. It is a powerful faith. It is the faith that is going to carry us through to our eternal destiny. It is the faith that is going to keep us even in the face of death. And it's the faith that's going to keep us without fear. So it is important that we get away from all the little arguments on certain topics, because in the end, that's never going to be a situation that's ever going to be resolved until the Lord announces it, and it happens.
And he returns.
And it happens, you know, and that's all according to his timetable. But he's not a God that is up there in heaven, you know, with this cynical mindset of, I'll show them, and, you know, he wants us to be tuned in, if you will, and tuned in, I'm talking about frequencies, I'm talking about that level of communication that the rest of the world cannot communicate on. And it's knowing how to get there, how to speak to God in that, at that level, and to receive from him. That's even more important. We can talk to Lord blue in the face, but it's to be able to receive that communication back from him. We're not just talking into empty space, we're receiving. Geordie Rose talks about that, and he's talking about aliens. He's talking about the demonic realm. We're talking about
the great old ones returning.
The greater old ones, yeah. Him and Lovecraft.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have at a moment's notice, every single moment of our life, every breath that we take, we are in the Spirit with him. We are in communication with him. You can't blink your eyes that God doesn't know about that. You know, I gave a situation one time. I was in my house in New Hampshire, Merrimack, New Hampshire, and I had received some packages, and I had stacked up these boxes in the pantry where I kept the garbage, and I had these level-door doors that I was just shutting. And I was talking, and I wasn't watching where I was going, and I opened the door, and I took a step to throw something away, and at that moment, a corner of one of the boxes that I had stacked pretty high was sticking out. I walked right into that. I didn't walk right into the boxes, but I moved to throw something into the garbage, but the box was sticking out, and at that very second, I mean, without me even knowing, I blinked and I cut my eyelid. But had I not blinked at that very moment, that corner would have cut my eye. And even though it did bleed, I found myself praising God as I'm holding a compress on my eye, saying, you knew that that was going to happen. You knew that that was going to happen, and you saved my eye at that very instant. So he is within you. He sees everything. He knows every step you're going to take. He knows every thought you're going to make, and he is waiting to share his thoughts with you, and he is. There is information coming from him all the time, and it's increasing now because of the days that we live in. And I'm not just saying that. It's real. It's happening. And you need to be in that relationship with God so that you're hearing from him every day. And I'm telling you, even if you profess to be a Christian and you don't think that you've heard from him, there's going to be something that happens, I'm sure, very soon where, I don't know if you're going to walk down a hallway and you're going to walk past a picture or perhaps a saying that's on the wall, and all of a sudden something's just going to, the words are going to jump off that wall at you, and it's going to mean something to you, and you're going to see it and receive it in a different way than it was put on the wall, and all of a sudden it's going to speak to you, and you're going to know how the Spirit of God moves, how he puts things in front of you or people into your life or scripture, and there are going to be these confirmations that come forth giving you direction on what to do. Don't be afraid to take to God even the most crazy questions. I'm not saying get up in the morning and say, Lord, should I have Cheerios or Captain Crunch? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, do I really need to buy that new car? Should I move away from where I am? Lord, I believe that all of this is happening now, and I'm concerned about my family and how I'm going to do this. And even saying, Lord, I am fearful. I confess I'm fearful. Please take that fear away and give me your peace that surpasses all understanding. I need answers to these situations in my life, and I don't know where to begin. And you know what he's going to say? I know, my child. I know. And I'm glad that you brought it to me. Now, let's take care of this first. And I'm telling you, it's going to be so personal. The first time that that happens to you, where your answer comes through in such a real way, like he breaks through that realm to your personal life and your personal situation, I'm telling you, even as a professed believer, you go, I can't believe that happened. And then you say, what do you mean I can't believe that happened? Of course I believe that happened. Or I should believe that happened, but I can't believe that really happened. And then you find yourself doubting and saying, maybe it was just coincidence. Why do we do that? Why do you do that?
Because we have limited human brains.
And that's our humanness fighting against the Spirit of God within us. I mean, within ourselves are these conflicting thoughts and emotion. We ourselves can work yourself up into a state of unbelief. So it takes a very strong person to walk by faith and not by sight. People have often said, religion is only for the weak people, or faith is only for those who are weak. That would be an absolute correct statement. And I proudly say, I am weak. I proudly say it because I need strength and I need it beyond myself. So, I encourage you. This is the time. There's never been another time like it. There's never been another time like it. And it's our time. It's where we are right now as human beings. It's our time. It's all of us together. And it's governments working against us, humanity. Governments placing themselves in positions, godlike positions of rulers, dictators, thinking that they can direct humanity, which of course just smacks of the Antichrist spirit that just pervades every aspect of this world. So stand firm. Having done all, stand. And gird yourself. Put on that armor of God every day. Yes, it's invisible. You don't pick it up like a pair of pants and put your legs into it. But I'm telling you, when you, by faith, every day, put on that helmet of salvation, Lord, protect my thoughts from psychological operations. I put on the helmet of salvation that I will always be able to keep at the forefront of my mind your plan, your purpose for Jesus in bringing us salvation through his painful death and his blood. Help me to always be able to remember that and to know that and to not have that taken away from me. I put on the helmet of salvation that Satan is not going to be able to read my thoughts through technology, no matter what they say. That there is no technological, biological, chemical weapon used against me that can change my brain in the way that it thinks as you designed it. That's pretty powerful for a helmet to do. Next, I put on the breastplate of righteousness. It is a breastplate that is meant not only to protect your inner organs that are vital for life. It is a breastplate that is embossed with the seal of Almighty God, marking you as a soldier and not a volunteer. Granting you not just his righteousness, but the ability and the authority to apprehend unrighteousness. That's what the breastplate does for you. He gives you his righteousness, which is the authority to apprehend unrighteousness. And then we put on the belt of truth so that we don't walk in lies. We don't believe lies. We've all lied. We've lived a lie. But not anymore. So we put on that belt of truth that we are able to discern the times and what is truth and what is a lie. We put on the boots fitted with the gospel of peace. And that's not just a foo-foo statement. You put boots on because this world is so filled with violence and hatred and anger, contention. When you put on boots, it's because you're going to stand firm and be immovable. You're going to be able to walk in places that people who are barefoot can't walk in. You're going to be able to go on rocky ground or uneven ground, pitted. You're going to be able to venture further than the masses who are not properly outfitted to walk in this world. So you're going to go forth because peace requires strength. And you're going to go forth in this world and you're going to put on the cloak of zeal. You're going to put on a good attitude. You're going to put on an attitude that says, I love the Lord. I'm zealous for him. You're going to pick up a shield of faith to extinguish the fiery darts of the enemy. And what does that mean? Arrows. I shoot arrows for fun. They're silent. They're quick. They can come from out of nowhere without warning. Fiery darts you might see. But fiery darts have dual purposes. They hope to hit the target, which is you. But if it misses you, guaranteed, it will be close enough that if it doesn't hit you, it's going to hit somewhere around where you are, your loved ones, your property. It's going to try and hit. But when you have that shield of faith, what does the Bible say? It extinguishes the fiery darts of the enemy. In other words, it hits it, it falls to the ground, and you put it out right then and there. And finally, you pick up the sword of your spirit, of God's Spirit, which is his word, and you hide it deep within your heart and within your mind so that you don't sin against him. And when you take that armor every single day, and to you, God may lead you to another definition. I just shared with you what I feel led to pray when I put on the armor every day. It's just an example. God may give you another understanding of it. But these are weapons that the world rejects, and yet God demands it. The world is, for the most part, a bunch of volunteers for Christ. A soldier is different. A soldier is trained in specialized warfare. A soldier will go out on the battlefield armed with weapons and will fight to the death, knowing that they'll give their life for the Lord. A soldier is different. So, either you're going to be given a t-shirt that says, I love Christ, stand on the sidelines and cheer for everybody, but you're never going to participate in the glory. Or you're going to sign up and say, okay, where do I go? Where's the bottom line? Where do I sign? And you're going to give your life to him. And you're going to get eternity with him in return. Don't know where that came from, just
Sure you do.
put it out